What's up YouTube? Today I'm bringing you guys a VISCOUS play-by-play. This one's a little bit different. We're actually watching this back after I recorded it. So we're watching it back together. I'll do a play-by-play of it. Just because, I'm still trying to get better at this game, still learning and improving. It's not like Smite where I can just play any random game, talk about everything that I'm doing, and do it pretty perfect, and you guys can learn from that, Still trying to get better. But nonetheless, I think you guys could probably learn a thing or two from this game, even if you're advanced, but definitely for the beginners. Because VISCOUS is probably my best character, if not her, then Pocket, but I really enjoy them both. In fact, VISCOUS is probably one of my favorite characters I played in any game in a while. So yeah, we're going to get into it today. Hopefully I can show you a thing or two. Already starting out the lane, getting all the last hits, which is really strong. 300 souls. Wave 1 is good. This guy's still clearing. We're actually against a Dynamo, which is... I've laned against a lot of Dynamos, and when it's a 1v1, and it's always been pretty easy. I don't know if it's a player diff or whatever, but... you just got to be careful of getting ulted under tower, basically, whenever you're diving. That's really only the outplay potential, or knocked up ulted under tower, for that matter. That's really only the outplay potential they have. This guy's just kind of playing up. I got my souls, and he's low, and he kind of just inted. So something he noticed right there is that I didn't melee, because something I've learned early on, Max taught me this, and I think you guys should take this with you as well in your deadlock games. You never really want to melee somebody when they're 1 HP. Now, I'm probably not dead there no matter what, even if he stuns me, but basically the only way you get outplayed in a situation where you're healthy and they're 1 is if they parry your melee, right? Like, I don't have to rush it there, because if I just get antsy and use my melee, then he might parry me, and if I was a little bit lower, maybe he outplays me, but because I don't, I just sit there and reload and just shoot him again. He wastes his parry, and then we're just chilling. But as I was saying, yeah, VISCOUS is one of my favorite characters in any game in a while, and that includes Smite, League, Val, any character with or any game with character design. So I've gotten pretty comfortable with her, and I've tried out a lot of different builds. Today we're going to be going an ult-based build, which I think is probably the strongest now that they've nerfed some of the melee builds, because before you kind of just build for your 3 early to mid game and be really strong, and you maybe transition into like a tank or melee build. You could always go the ult-based build, but I definitely think it's the strongest right now, and you'll see throughout this game. Not going to spoil anything, but we do pretty decent. We'll see if we win or lose, whether we win or lose. But speaking of VISCOUS, I actually did a VISCOUS short for if you're really new to the game, just a 60-second rundown of her kit and how to play her, some decent items for her and everything. So just show that on screen, but also you can just go check that out on my YouTube on the short side. But yeah, something I think I need to get better at is a lot of times when I just like to play super aggressive, coming from Smite and stuff, you don't have to worry about last hits. So I like to sit at the tower line and just poke and thinking about diving and stuff. But a lot of times it's just better to focus on the souls, denying their souls, because a lot of times they won't walk up to melee because you're already harassing them so much. Like right there is a perfect example. They have to shoot them. So you could probably deny and take those souls and get even further ahead. Another example of that, I'm focused on hitting him instead of denying that soul. I mean, it's more fun to hit them because it's always better to just get kills than focus on PvE. But yeah, it's really good to... when you have enough pressure and the minions are tanking, to get those melee hits so that you can get the last hits without them being able to die. He went over to the Veil there, I think, to shoot. I tried to get him a 3 behind the wall, but wasn't happening. A big tip I have for you guys right now for VISCOUS laning is to actually put 2 points into your 2 before you really do anything else, because at rank 1, it's really not an ability whatsoever. If you get that 2 points into it, it really lowers the cooldown, because at base rank, I think it's like a 45-second cooldown, which is absurd. I was trying to bait this guy here to get him to play up, and he started playing up, but I started taking too much poke, but it almost worked. But anyway, you really need to get that second point in the 2. I think I'll do it here in a second and show. But it goes from a 45-second cooldown or 40-second cooldown to 20, and then it also removes all debuffs when it's at that rank 2, which is really important, I think. Now that I'm got my items online, I'm actually pretty strong here. I got some melee lifesteal as well here, so if we can just hit our 3 and maybe get some melees off, we kind of win this 1v1 always. Just heal a lot from it with that Spirit Strike. So I do recommend still going Spirit Strike, even though that's also been nerfed. And like I said, you don't really want to focus just on the melee build these days on VISCOUS, but it's still good for that early game, and it'll just make you still that lane bully. I mean, VISCOUS is a crazy lane bully. Part of the reason I like her so much, but something I was bad at before is transitioning that lane bully game, or that lead I got from being a bully, to the mid game and the late game. But that's definitely something I've gotten a lot better at as I've played the game more. So I'll try and show you guys some of that today. So yeah, I get that melee lifesteal. I get the Spirit Strike. Sometimes it depends on the lane. A lot of times if I'm just like poked out and I want to stick around, sometimes I'll slam an extra regen. A lot of times I just go sprint boots or extra stamina because I just enjoy them. Not necessarily saying they're the best ever, but that's something I wanted to talk about throughout this game. I also am trying to dive this guy, just bouncing around, clearing minions. Notice that he went up top, so I was just going to chase him because I kind of just win this always with the lead that I have and all the items that I have. Look at that damage with Spirit Strike and Lifesteal. Just being patient, or need to freak out here. He almost had a nice little movement there. That's probably the only play he can make, so I respect it. We get the tower there. This is where I put the second point in the 2, like I said. Now it's an actual ability because that cooldown is just way too long. Kind of need it to be a bit lower. We'll clear this because he's dead. We don't really have to worry about getting ganked. Now we have ourselves a nice little lead here. This dino messed up the lane a little bit, but again, it's pretty hard to lane against VISCOUS. Not that they should have died that much or gotten their tower that early, but you know, it happens. Happens to me as well. We got to learn from it. So yeah, something I wanted to talk about in this just farming AFK. There's going to be a lot of AFK farming in this game. I ended up getting a ton of souls. Something you can take a little bit from. Maybe we can learn a little bit from, like, maybe trying to fight more group with the team. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is while we're AFK farming is that building in this game, I think people are overcomplicating it. And the reason I say that is, number one, there are rated builds that you can go from pro players or really good players, and you can literally just copy that. And most of them will be at least decent. But the other thing is that there's so much versatility and variety in this game. There's so many different builds that you can go. As long as you know why you're building the items that you're building, you just read a little bit and you play around the fact that, like, you're buying, let's say you're buying Spirit Strike with melee lifesteal. You play around the fact that you're using your 3 to heal and poke and bully. There's stuff like that. Like, you just have to know why you're building the items, and then it's actually pretty simple. That might sound silly, but what I'm trying to say is that there's so many different builds that you can kind of build a lot of different stuff and still do well as long as you just play well. Forehead. I feel like people are worried too much about the builds in this game when they should be worrying more about getting their movement down, the mechanics, the farming, making sure they're keeping up in souls, which is part of farming, rotating when they need to, calming, like all of that stuff I feel like is more important as long as you're just slamming one of the best builds and kind of building down the line. Now there is some nuance there, of course, but for the most part, I just feel like people are kind of overcomplicating. Kind of just wasted my ult here. I was going to rotate with my ult back to lane to get the Lady Geist, but it's not a big deal. A lot of times I just slam my ult early game to rotate, to be honest, because before you get it maxed out, which is what I'm trying to do this game, I'm putting all my points in my ult, so I'm point saving, waiting until I can get that point into the ult, because once you get your ult maxed, if you didn't know, you can actually use all your other abilities and active items in your ult, which is so OP, and which is why you build for your ult, and you'll see that throughout this game. So yeah, I also bought improved cooldown and some spirit lifesteal because I'm going a more spirit-based build, of course, because I'm building for my ult. So I'm going to be healing a lot with that melee lifesteal, with the spirit lifesteal, and just slamming my abilities, whether it's my 1, my 3. A lot of times I like using my 3 for movement as well, just like that. Just fun. Sometimes it's necessary. It can help you get out of some situations. If you put it against a wall, you can go flying with it. But trying to get the jungle camps, it's a lot like Smite, where you kind of want to clear waves and always be doing something. Clear wave, go to the jungle camp, kill like a box or a statue to get some extra gold. Go to a lane if you're trying to fight, get some nice denies there. A lot of times when people like throw abilities out, that's one thing I've learned in this game is that it's actually not always the best to clear the fastest. A lot of times it isn't, because if you slam an ability on a wave, you can, the souls will all just pop up, and a lot of times they won't be focused on hitting them. Because people just think, oh, just throw my ability, get the clear. So that's how we would deny there. Again, you don't also want to push too far up in lanes. Like if I get a tower early, sometimes it can be a disadvantage, like this game. I have to play pretty far up to get those minion waves if no one's really hard pushing it. So that's easy rotations for them to come to my lane. So because of that, I'm going to let the lane kind of neutralize for a sec, stalemate a little bit, and then I can get it more towards like the middle of the lane so I'm not in such a precarious position. But yeah, I really feel like building in this game is not too crazy. I think people are overcomplicating it or worrying too much about it when I think there's so many other aspects of the game that are super important. Now, building is really good, and if you get a really good build and play around that build with the right style, it could be huge. But again, I think it's a lot of that other stuff is just a little bit more important as long as you're just like slamming some of those items. But also knowing like a little bit of the mechanics of building, like you want to go those early game items, the tier 1 items to actually you know, be strong early game because they're super cost effective. I don't know what this guy was doing or what he thought he'd do. I think he wanted to try and ult me. So I just kept my distance the whole time. That's the thing you have to do against Lady Geist is just basically keep your distance. And this Haze was playing a little bit crazy as well. I kind of missed my ult. It was a good jump by her. She's probably just going to get out. Not much we could do to chase her. She, I think, ended up using her invis. Couldn't find her. So I think she went right side, actually. But just going to focus on clearing minions. My Paradox is actually here, which I noticed last second, a little bit noob by me. Trying to put points in the ult again. I get a nice cube on her to save her from this Haze ult. And then we get the kill with the Spirit Strength. So good. That's something I'm getting better at as well with VISCOUS, is using my cube on my teammates as well. It's so much more satisfying when you save a teammate or help them out with a cube than it is using on yourself. My teammate Paradox says godlike, which I was like, cool. Oh, something you're going to notice throughout this game is that, I don't know, the team morale was a little bit weird. I was a little bit scared of this rotation because there were 2 people here. I wasn't really like paying attention to farm and everything, but I'm pretty ahead of these guys. I asked my team for help, but they ended up not chasing, and I didn't get a nice dash jump off and just run away. But something you're going to notice throughout this game is that the team morale was a little shaky, and I think it's because of this Lash. We'll get to it a little bit more later on, but he was just annoyed with everything. I think somebody pissed in his Cheerios. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I say it later on, and I'll mention it when we get to that point. But I literally was like, I didn't really say anything for the whole time, and he just kept saying stuff. So I was like, bro, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? What's wrong? And then he just like said something. He's like, no, I'm just annoyed and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I feel like you're role playing as Lash. Because Lash is an asshole if you guys don't know. So yeah, I think they're talking about it right now. Not the thing I was just talking about, but I think he's complaining. So yeah, maxing out the ult, super, super important. Make sure you use those point saves to get the ult max, because the earlier you get that, the better, especially if you're getting those active items and all that. Just greeting some farm here. Got 3k souls. I like going Warpstone as well on VISCOUS early game, just because it gives you a little bit of weapon damage, and it's just good for farming, you know, getting around the map. And if you get that ult maxed, it can be the difference maker in getting a kill or not, because you can quickly change directions, and VISCOUS ult can be quite hard to control sometimes. So trying to rotate here because they're trying to deliver the urn, and I have my ult up. So let's see if we can make something happen. I don't actually remember what happened here, but yeah, like I said, a lot of times I like to use that ult for rotating. I kind of messed that up. I could have hit him with my stun, but I just barely missed it. And we were able to kill him. I think he delivered an urn. I'm not really sure what happened in that moment, but I'm pretty sure he got it. We ended up getting the dino as well. That's one thing I'm trying to get better at, is just like knowing when to rotate and when to prioritize farm. It's sort of like Smite again, where it's like, if you get that wave push, you clear jungle camp, you feel like you're doing good, or there's something super important to fight over, you just kind of rotate after doing that, getting that farm and that wave push and everything. You know, you bought yourself some time farm-wise that you can try and make a play somewhere. Of course, a lot of times I end up over-rotating anyway, just because I like fighting a lot. Also, a little tip right there for some of you beginners is that if you stand inside one of the jungle camp monsters in heavy melee towards the other, you can actually hit both at the same time with the heavy melee. So you can even hit 3 at some camps, so it can help you farm a little bit better. And of course, you got a heavy melee that a little machine 5 times, and you'll get all the souls out of that as well, because it does damage to you, so you don't want to light melee it, because you'll take more damage. Just trying to push out lanes here as well. Super important to keep waves managed in this game. It's like any other MOBA, and that's why I always say, like, it's way more a MOBA than is a shooter in my opinion, and you'll see that this game. I have built specifically ability-based. I literally own people by only clicking my abilities and only farming throughout the entire game, basically. It's literally just a MOBA. But then you can play other characters that are more shooter-based, or build more shooter-based and play like that. But, yeah, way more a MOBA than a hero shooter, in my opinion. Just getting these lanes pushed. Infernus is, we're kind of just hitting each other. We can't really do damage to each other. We're both kind of tanky and life-stealy. But that's fine. Make sure you're trying to deny as well. In these skirmishes, a lot of people don't focus on getting those souls, but I believe it's after 10 minutes, you have to get you have to get the last hits on the souls that come out of the people to get the, wait, I forget. But basically, after 10 minutes, last hitting on the souls is even more important, I'm pretty sure. I ended up going Torment Pulse as well, which is an item I didn't really like too much before. It's basically the mystical mail of this game. I have it right here, but I noticed throughout this game, and I'm starting to warm up to it more, it is sick, dude. It does a lot of damage. It's really good for farming. It can help you just like clear some minions that are around you that you don't want to like last hit. Like say you're on a jungle camp and a couple of them are low and you don't want to like hit it or shoot it. It can help with clearing that. So yeah, I actually am starting to like it a lot. And it's especially good on Viscous because you kind of want to be on top of them in the team fights with your ult and everything. And if you're just rolling around, your Torment Pulse will be pulsing, getting a lot of extra damage off. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Just like being a tank in a team fight, which is how I like to build Viscous. I like to be pretty tanky. Rotating back to purple here because they're pushing out. They end up killing the Paradox. They have 3 here, so I'm not trying to get too frisky with them. I'm just trying to mess with them, harass them a little bit, try and get them off the tower. Because I shouldn't be able to die here. I'm pretty freaking tanky and pretty slippery. They'll end up getting the tower because I can't really play up. And I shouldn't play up, is to just be an int. Now, if my Bebop rotates, we can maybe play up with that, but they start running at me pretty hard. Like, this Dino gets pretty crazy here. Just running at me. He has no kill potential. He's trying to look for an ult, I believe, but I still have my 2 up. I don't want to, I'm not going to panic use it if I don't need to. Just trying to bait him, which we end up doing. Get them pretty low. End up messing up my fist there, but we got to play back as well because we're on HP, and we have enough to buy another item, which I believe I get a Warp Stone here, which, like I said, now that I have my ult maxed, it's quite nice. Oh, I end up going in pre-burst. That's fine as well. Going to be building for the ult, and that should help with damage on that. Or with the 1, I'm going to be throwing out lots of 1s. We'll end up getting a reverb on that as well. And it slams, man. You can just easily kill people. You're going to see throughout this game. Hopefully I can show you some of the tech. Tina ends up rotating. They do get the tower, but it's not a big deal. They get the Walker. Or the Guardian. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever terminology you want to use. But we get some good picks there. And now we can kind of repush and maybe get some pressure on their Walker. I'm just going to go into the jungle. See if I can rotate up a little bit. Oh, no. Here I think it was... I think they had the urn. I messed up my 3 there. I messed up a few of those this game. Usually I'm decent at it, but I was nervous. Rotate to this Yamato. Try and help her out. End up pushing. That was maybe a bad push by me. And I also could have cubed him here. Maybe saved him. I was looking for it right here. I was like, oh, I can cube you, but he was just not in range. I also dashed away when I didn't need to here. I could have fought these guys. My teammates weren't nearby, but I can kind of 1v2 at this point in my ult since I have it maxed. We get 7 ult though, and we're in kind of a sticky situation. So I just basically have to get out, get a nice 3 on her, heal a little bit. Still got a lot of stamina left, so I'm chilling. My cube is up if I need to use it. They ended up killing a 7 because he had no ult, so good job by Lash there, even though he was the mean guy in this game. But yeah, keep it going, keep farming. A lot of this game, it's a little bit different in certain games, I will say. I mean, if you're in a high elo game, everyone's calming, everyone's working together. There's a lot of grouping and a lot of putting pressure on structures and playing around that. But if no one's really calming or working together, then it becomes kind of like an AFK farm fest. So it kind of happens a lot this game because people weren't calming, and I think people probably didn't want to calm because this guy kind of ruined the mood from the get-go. So I went superior cooldown on the ult because, like I said, it's an ult-based build. So the more that is up, the better. We will just be able to slam people. Because like I said, you can just use your entire kit in your ult. So the more that is up, you're just going to be running around, getting your whole kit off, and it's really strong. Here's the Torment Pulse cooking a little bit, by the way. Just push out blue because no one was there. Grab this. This spawns, I think, after 10 minutes as well. And it's a temporary buff that I believe you can see on the left side of the screen. But yeah, that's after 10 minutes is when that spawns. Ping that the Haze is here and try and tell him. I thought he went through the teleporter. That's why I ran straight at it. But then I saw that they were shooting him to the left, and I saw him, and I was like, okay, he's out. He got this 1 minion low, so I was like, all right, I'll just kill this because these are worth quite a lot. I think it's 300 souls per. Was that 327? I don't. Maybe it scales anyway, but it's a decent amount, these red camps. And certain characters farm them really well, like especially if you get like Ricochet or Tesla bullets will help with that. Monster bullets, all that. But since she already had them a little bit low, I was like, all right, I'll just clear those. Give me that. And again, clear a wave, go look to do something else. Clear a wave, go look to do something else. I love going on top of these buildings. It can just kind of give you an aerial view. And these little gifts that you get from the boxes and the statues and such are actually really worth. You definitely want to be getting those. I ult here because I see this Wraith, and I was like, oh, we can just kill this guy. He gets Wraith ulted, and I queued him, so you want to get one shot. But then I kind of messed that up. This was really bad by me. We could have probably just killed him instantly if I didn't cube him and didn't mess up my pathing on my orb, or my ball, which is pretty hard to control a lot of the time. But we chased this guy. I leave because the warden was like, looked like he was gonna be able to kill him, and I was gonna go help out. My teammates die. If I was there the whole time, we probably would have won the fight. So maybe bad decision making by me. miss my fist here, but I'm trying to bait these guys because my teammates are coming and I can just cube. And if they overextend, I might die. I love baiting in this game like I do other games. Because if I might die, but we may kill them anyway and it'll be worth it. And we end up getting both and I don't die, so. Cleo, what are you doing? Relax. Go chill. This is where I said it. This is where I was like, yo, Lash, because he was complaining about that. He didn't realize we were chasing out that Wraith, and we did get the kill. This is where I said it. Which is, it was fine for, he was complaining about us not being there, but it's a fine thing to complain about, but he complained about everything in this game, you know what I mean? So it's not just that, you know, it's like, bro, everything has been annoying you. But anyway. He's still talking about it. This is when I said, are you role-playing Lash? And this Bebop laughed. He thought it was funny. I think he and the Bebop were going at it a little bit, but here's the Torment Pulse cooking, like right here. I should have realized, oh, my Torment Pulse was just going to kill it. But again, just always doing something, farming. The thing about this, and I'll talk about it a bit since we're talking about comms, is that in Deadlock, dude, calming is so important, and it makes the game so much more fun if everybody's like calming and has the right attitude. Like close games where everyone is calming, oh my gosh, it's peak. It's peak gaming, I'm not even gonna lie. I love it so much. I wish more people did it, and I'm not saying everybody's gotta like super try hard every single game, but I'd rather people like say a thing here or there and not really be negative and just kind of keep the vibes up and the comms going for the important stuff than have nobody talking whatsoever. Or maybe even just typing, you know, certain things can be nice. That can also get the job done. What else? We're kind of paused here. This Bebop needed a pause, so I paused for him. Something I noticed in this game as well is that I was farming like a crazy man. And I feel like I was in a lot of the fights. Maybe need to be in certain positions where I wasn't, but I think maybe I farmed too much. I also got like some of these unsecured souls that made me huge, and maybe if we could have spread the wealth a little bit better. I ended up dying here. This was a bad play by me. I hit my own freaking Guardian and got pushed back into them. So I could have baited so much better there, or played that so much better, but it was just awkward. And then I get solo dino ulted. So a bit of an imp by me. I was also a little bit distracted after the pause. I thought Cleo was chewing on my wires, so I'm going to blame that. That's why I made that horrible play. But this Warden gets a huge ult off. He's cooking them. We end up killing a few of them here. Try to calm low health people who they should focus. Which is something you can do when you're dead. You kind of have a free POV of the team fight. You don't have to worry about mechanics or anything like that. You can just call it the important stuff. So that was the last bad play of the game, okay? From here, we are cooking. I can promise you that, okay? So I still don't have that warp stone. We have a lot of spirit right now, though, as you can see in my flex slots. I have 4 tier 3s. A lot of stuff that I think is just really good for this ult build. Where did I go there? I was checking their builds. So right there, I was checking to see what they were mostly at, which I believe was mostly spirit. I think they were mostly cooking up spirit. So I went a spirit armor. I think that's something you can periodically do throughout your games, is to just hover over all of their characters, see what they have. Do they have mostly purple? Throw a spirit armor on. If they have mostly weapon damage, or they're playing weapon-based characters like Haze, and a lot of times people build, you know, like Wraith weapon-based, even though there's a spirit build going around where you just throw 5 cards at somebody and just one-shot them. But anyway, you get the point. If they're mostly orange, then throw a bullet armor on. And I like building Viscous pretty tanky. In fact, a lot of the characters in this game I like to be tanky as, like Lash and Warden. So it's pretty fun to do that. Who would have thought playing tanks in another game? Just deny a little bit there and then get out of there, because they probably could have collapsed on me. They probably have Dino ult. Don't want to be in a bad position. Just playing around this Warden. This Warden was playing pretty well, and he was pretty fed as well. So get a nice one-off. I believe I have the Kobe now, or the Ricochet. I believe I max it. You max your ult into year 1, but like I said, you want to get 2 points in year 2. Early game. These guys are arguing again. Yeah, there we go. We got the Kobe. One thing, the only downside to Viscous is I don't really like her right click. I'd rather be able to aim in on her. A lot like in these situations, it's a little bit rough trying to last hit from far away when you can't really see. But we make it work. I probably could use a right click more if I was better in certain scenarios, but look to rotate because they're all fighting over there around the urn. I was just kind of matching the lady guy's pressure. There's another scenario where I probably ult early just to get to them. And again, I can use my abilities in my ult. So like right here, I think I get a kill on this dino by wanting. Hit the freaking pole, dude. Bad control by me, but we end up killing this guy as well. Look at that damage. I think he like got hit by a burst damage or something right before I hit him. But these are the unsecured souls that I was talking about. Look at that. That bag I just got. My goodness. Definitely want to spend this. This case can never kill me here, and I could easily bait with my cube if she chases, but she decides not to. That's why I'm not afraid, and that's why I'll do these jungle camps as well. This is where the freaking one bouncing is super good for jungle clear. You can kind of bounce it off the wall, get a couple hits of it, a couple ticks, and it will one-shot the camps. And that was something I was bad at before as well on Viscous, is I wouldn't prioritize the right abilities for maxing. I'd even like max the 3 sometimes, and I was just super noob. Definitely want to max the 1, because that'll help you farm and get to your late game items even sooner. And you'll be chilling. Item I love. Now, this is probably more like a late game item, but it's Phantom Strike. I love this item on Viscous because it's just a guaranteed stun in your ult. It's a low cooldown. It disarms, and it does some other stuff, but I know that disarms, so it can be really good against weapon-based characters, sort of like Haze. And it can change your direction when you're going in a different direction in your ult. You want to turn around, get to somebody else. But the most important part is that it instantly gets you to somebody and you can stun them. So if they don't have Unstoppable, which is the CC immunity, the beads in this game, then you can just Phantom Strike right at them in your ult and it'll instantly stun them, which maybe I can do here. Boom, like that. I'm peeling for this lash, trying to help him out. We got the Phantom Strike. We're going back, bouncing off that, trying to bounce in between here. Get a nice ult off here. We're getting a ton of value from our ult. We saved the lash. We're getting some good damage off. I think I ended up dying here, but I don't mind this at all because we saved the lash and we baited a good fight because my team came over. I was trying to combo them to get to us, get the kill on the Infernus, so we at least trade 1 for 1 as far as like our own kills. But we bait a sick fight. We ended up getting 4, I think maybe 5 here. So yeah, that's where the Phantom Strike comes in handy. But it can be very good against channeled abilities as well, like Hazel. If they don't have the Unstoppable, I can instantly Phantom Strike to them and stun them with the Goo Ball. Same thing with 7 ult if he doesn't have Unstoppable. And if he's in the air and I get it to the right position, I can stun him. That's why I like going Warp Stone as well, because between Phantom Strike and Warp Stone in your ult, you have so much maneuverability. You can kind of counteract the fact that Viscous ult can be hard to control. Sorry, by the way, if you guys hear the chewing in the background, Cleo's chewing on her bone now. So yeah, it can be very good for those situations. You're basically just negating the downsides of Viscous ult. Cleo, that's loud. Sorry. Team stays a little bit long there. I think didn't we end up getting a shrine? Yeah, we're hitting the patron, so we got some a shrine there too. Pretty good by my team. I could have helped out a little bit better here. We ended up killing the Wraith though. I thought she was I honestly didn't realize she was that low, but going to the ult, try and peel for my teammates here, which I'm able to do. Phantom Strike going hard, get a kill off. That's the power of the ult, by the way. Look at that damage. Are you kidding me? I probably don't need to be that scared here, but I am the only one. So if I stick around too long and run out of my ult, because you get a lot of bullet and spirit resist in your ult, that's why I'm so tanky. If I run out near them. I get a nice cube on Paradox once again to immune Furnace ult. Get a nice 3 off. Doing our best here, but they end up chasing. And we're just trying to get away. And he gets a nice Dino ult off. So sadly, we end up dying. Especially, I think I show it maybe when I check the builds. This Infernus has like Ricochet and he's going a bullet or a weapon-based build. This guy says sorry and I'm like, nah, it's not a big deal. That's my fault anyway. Could have just backed up. I think he's saying sorry because he didn't live off of me kind of saving him. But honestly, it was more my fault than his. Warden comes in and gets a nice ult off to at least push them off. I think he ends up killing anybody. But yeah, I'm checking the builds right here. That guy has Ricochet. So this guy literally, he gets a 2-man Dino ult. And the guy has Ricochet, so all of his damage is bouncing back and forth between us, and we just get one shot, basically. So yeah, that's another thing I did this game. I like being tanky. I check their builds, see that guy's kind of fed, and he's going to weapon build, and they have a haze and such, so I end up going bullet armor as well. And then eventually I'll get the improved armor for both. And then you're just so hard to kill in your ult. Between having your 2s up, all of your movement, your ult, your tankiness, your heals, it's just hard to kill. Good job by that Lash to get the Dino kill in the end. So whenever you're spawning, you want to just look at the bottom right, look at the map, and see where the minions are putting the most pressure, or where you can get the most farm where nobody else is. And this time it was in left lane in yellow, which is also next to the urn, which I was thinking about maybe delivering, trying to take to the freaking end zone. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Not Super Bowl Sunday, but Sunday. Football Sunday. So, ton of free farm here. Get the lane pushed out even more. And it's just a super simple tip. Just look at the map when you spawn. See where you need to go. And if there's a lot of minions, go there. If there's a fight breaking out and you need to be there, of course, go to that first. But some new movement by me there. I didn't need to have to do it like that. So I tell my team I'm going to try and deliver the urn here, but we already have one dead, but it's still 1-for-1 right now, and they're both spawning at the exact same time, but they sort of take a fight in green, and I tell them, I'm like, I'm going to try and deliver the urn, and it's a 2v1 against the lady, guys, which is easier said than done a lot of time, but you just got to keep your space. She can heal a lot, and if she uses her ult on you when you're right next to her, then of course that could be a fight lost. So one of them dies, and I'm like, okay, well, if they just trade 1-for-1, it's not that big of a deal while we deliver the urn, but she ended up killing both. So she gets a 1v2 off. They're already camping the urn delivery spot. So I'm like, okay, we can't deliver this. So I drop it and look for a fight. I get a nice one off. Phantom strike towards him. I kind of messed that up. I could have easily stunned the Hazel, especially if I kept my Phantom strike up. But I'm like, okay, we're probably not going to fight this. Kind of got owned. So I come back around just to see what's going on. And I stun out the Haze, who's invis. I saw her, so I started going towards her. I don't know where she went, but then she went back towards... I think she went back towards the team fight, so... Ended up getting the kill in the Infernus. Definitely could have played that fight better. I could have kept get a nice cube off the save. My Paradox once again, in this guy. Phantom strike to him, get him killed because it disarms. But I could have played the beginning of that team fight so much better. I should have waited for the Haze ult to Phantom strike her. But they also like backpedaled out of it, so I didn't get the stun off on either of them, which sucks. But we still end up getting 2 kills. That's where I like to use it. If you use the 3 on the wall, it can get you out of some bad spots and help with moving around the map. I forget what I go here. I think I go Mystic Reverb for my 1. Oh, no, it's... Okay. Yeah, we get the Spirit Armor. Oh, no. JK. Yeah, Mystic Reverb. Again, this is like... You just kind of go what you're feeling. It's a vibe thing, you know? I wanted to do more damage. I felt tanky enough. Like, I could have gotten improved Spirit Armor there, but, like, you guys have seen these fights. Apart from the one fight where I get 2-man Dino ulted and then they freaking ricochet off me, I feel tanky enough. So I'm just going to go more damage. You'll notice a lot of this in a lot of this game that, like, I messed up the jump here because I'm silly. Again, first game of the day, guys. You guys got to cut me some slack, okay? We started warming up as the game went on. But you'll notice throughout a lot of this game is that nobody really knows what to do because we're kind of all just doing our own thing because there's not a lot of comms going on. Free kill with the Phantom Strike, easy control in these tight corridors. Probably could have killed him before he even got in there, but use the cube to immune the Infernus stun, even though I probably didn't need to. But we get a lot of damage off. We have the Mystic Reverb on our 1 now as well, so we're cooking. But it's just me and this Warden, and there's like 4 of them, so I don't want to int. So I'd kind of just chill. Try and keep him off of our Walker. Get some poke off. I'm kind of low. So I don't want to be too aggressive with no ult as well. We just kind of stall for our ult to be back up. We're only playing around our ult basically. Because that's when we're most strong. Basically unkillable. And yeah. Alright. 3 came in the room. So again, looking at the map when I'm spawned or when I'm back to base, I see a bunch of minions are pushing down yellow. Free farm and free lane pressure, so we gotta push this out. Get a lot of farm here. I ended up farming like a freaking madman this game, I'm not gonna lie. Which feels good because a lot of times, well, at least before, the thing I was worst at was farming, to be honest, because I just would fight so much. And I still try and fight a lot, but I'm getting better at like prioritizing farm throughout the map as well. Being more smooth with it, you know, clearing a wave, getting a jungle camp, clearing a wave. Always be doing something, basically. Like I said, if we prioritized our objectives and team fights better with comms, this whole game would have been a lot smoother. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing, you know what I mean? And I tried to calm a little bit and but it just wasn't happening, you know. Which is fine. I am in a situation where I can kind of like 1v2 though. I get a nice cube off on the Wraith ult. I call that out to my team. She completely wasted her ult, so I'm like, all right, I'm getting in there. Easy Phantom Strike. Look at this damage. Look at this damage. Kobe! The Ricochet. Could even played that cleaner. Especially, this is the beauty of being able to watch back as well. There's so many things you could do better. I cubed the Lash here. That was bad by me. I should have cubed somebody to my left. Really save them because they were getting Dino ulted, but we ended up killing the Wraith. Or the freaking Haze. This guy gets a nice 7 ult off. And the Dino ults again because he's got Refresher. So honestly, kind of a bad fight somehow. I think they kind of just got baited into a Dino ult and got owned. Because I don't even think the Haze ult got a ton of value. But like, I killed the freaking Wraith for free. And yeah, I don't know. Not sure exactly what happened. I kind of don't like our comp, to be honest. Kind of odd. But they start to go on me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get out of here, get a nice 3 off. I think we chill. I think we're good. I probably didn't need ult there, but I thought they might chase, and I thought the dot might get me, so I just used my 2, which also removes the debuff, so I could have just done that earlier. Especially because they have an Infernus, who's the debuff king with his 3. You'll notice there, what did I buy? I forgot what I bought there. Oh, escalating exposure, right? Is that what I bought? I think it is. Which is another core item for the ult-based build. Because you're just going to be hitting a lot of your abilities, a lot of your spirit abilities in your ults. Getting multiple ricochets off or multiple hits of that, bouncing off walls and stuff. You will cook them. Teammates are respawning here. And they're playing pretty far up, so... Use my Phantom Strike to get in there. Also disarm that guy. Should be able to get him though. The Dino gets a nice TP off with his team. Maybe saves him. And I take a lot of poke from the freaking 7-1. But my teammates chase and get 2 kills, which is good. They die for it, but then they get another. So it's not a big deal. Again, just looking at the map where we need to push. I'm boosting because, well, part of the reason I want this farm. Look at it's so satisfying. When you clear so many minions at once. But also I just want to get back because I can, even though my teammates are dead, I can kind of 1v2 and get free kills. So I don't mind getting back into the fight. Like I said, if we spread out the money more this game, it would have been a lot smoother. There's the Phantom Strike going hard. This guy Wraith ults me, which is pointless by him. He should just save his ult for somebody else. I come back to help out my teammate, and he's just dead. Get a nice 3 off as we're running away. Look at that bag. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back on this guy. He gets a nice TP off, and we'll just grab the bag. Like, I should have let somebody else grab this, honestly. I was already so fed. I mean, look at me. I have 59k souls. Which, in a different scenario, I would be like, nah, fuck that. Give me the freaking souls. Sell your Spirit Strike late game, for sure. Definitely the one item you should sell. And then I sell my melee lifesteal as well to get some spirit armor because I want to get both the upgraded spirit and bullet armor so I can be super tanky, like I talked about. But yeah, I have 59k souls. Like, I'm the highest on my team by far, and yeah, I could have spread it out more. This guy gets another good Dino ult off. Freaking destroyed this guy in lane, but he is cooking in these fights. He refreshed and ulted again. And did hit me with it, but they're using a lot and they don't even kill me, so it's actually not a big deal. They even Wraith ulted me again, by the way. Look, it's chasing me. It's funny that it just chases you the whole time. Oh, what I was about to say is that if it was Smite or whatever, if I was better at the game, like if I feel like I could single-handedly carry, I'd be like, nah, just give me all the souls. But I'm not at that point yet. I am getting better, but I know a decent amount about the game now, but still need to improve, so I would have liked to have spread out these souls maybe a little bit more. They're just getting free structures on our side because we kind of are all dead. I just kind of have to harass him. I don't have my ult up, which is the entire point of my character and build right now, so just gotta chill. Just trying to poke and harass, do what I can. Maybe buy some time so my teammates can respawn. But for now, we get the improved spirit armor. It'd actually be pretty tanky here. And now that my teammates are starting to respawn, we want to get in there. The ult's coming back up. Get a nice 3 off. This Dino's TPing up here. He thinks he's safe. He is not. Get a nice kill with the fist. Oh, get a nice one off there with the ricochet. Hazel, she's ulting in the middle of everyone. I just run her over. Splat. Kind of a waste of my cube, but just to remove your debuff, it's all good. You want to keep your space there. The Lash shouldn't have been playing that close because she gave him a free Ice ult. Look how much healing this guy has. I could have maybe gotten a anti-heal item, but I already had so many items to buy. You know what I mean? We ended up getting the kill. We actually have 5 dead, and I'm trying to call mid here because we only have one lane that really needs pushing, which is yellow. If we kind of just went straight to mid boss here, we probably could have gotten it before they even got here. And I was like, oh, no. So it wasn't happening. I think we end up trying to do it anyway. We'll see. But we get this wave pushed in the meantime because nobody's at the mid boss yet. So get that. I do have 6k souls, which is a lot to have in the bank. Oh, also remember the unsecured souls part of the game. I get this question sometimes. It's from jungle camps. So whenever there's like, if you cleared a bunch of jungle, you don't really want to be fighting after. Because then you'll drop your unsecured souls, and then those are the bags that people drop. The big old balls. I'm just sitting in a freaking 7-1. Which really isn't doing that much damage anymore now that I have some spirit armor. One of the recommended items for this build, you see, if you looked at the build that I was using, the person that I got it from, just a free kill. We're actually getting some nice picks here, just baiting this objective. And I never died to these guys, so I'm just trying to bait even more. Get some nice damage off. In these tight corridors with my 1, we cook them, dude, and we get a nice double kill there as well. Things are looking good. We're just getting free kills, and we can kill this dino. We can get the mid boss, which we did get. We just have to secure it because it's dropping down. You have to heavy melee it for those that don't know, which my teammates do as we're fighting. I mean, things are looking good. Got the objective. We're still fighting. Gonna kill this lady, guys. Yeah, we have 5 dead. We can push out lanes. We have a freaking rejuve. Game is looking good, I think. But yeah, another thing in these fights is that I'm just baiting as well if they go on me. I love doing it, and I am playing a good character for it. Not only that, but I'm also super tanky with this build. But as I was talking about before, the build that I'm using recommends Diviner's Kevlar on VISCOUS, which I think is also really strong, but... And it does increase your spirit power and stuff, so you probably should just go it. And I like it on most characters that I play, but I already feel so tanky in VISCOUS ult. So sometimes I don't prioritize as much. I tried to stun the 7 ult with my ult there, which was what I was talking about before, but I think I didn't stun him out for some reason. I don't know if he has an unstoppable or what. Maybe he did there. I actually don't know. That's unlucky. I was gonna look for a cube on my teammate there to save her from the, or save him from the Hazel, but we're getting good picks here. Dino gets a really good ult off, so I cube the Lash to try and help him. I disarm the Wraith to try and help peel for them, but people are just dying. Kind of grouping up too much. I think that's the problem with a lot of these team fights. We grouped up for Dino ults. We grouped up for their short range AoE abilities, like Hazel, and they kind of just cooked us from it. But look at my souls, dude. I have 75k souls, man. I have 13k souls in my bag right now somehow. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm like, I don't even know what to sell. I didn't want to have to sell during Speed or Spirit Lifesteal because I like both of them. They're still good late game. There's a lot of early game items that are super good late game. I ended up selling my stamina as well. I think I had extra stamina that I sold, or maybe that was a different game. I forget. But we didn't really get all that much with the rejuve, I won't lie. We definitely should have been able to get more there. Maybe even win the game off that. We had 5 dead. We're pushing into the base with rejuve. I'm like, all right, I'm getting in there. I can 1v3 these guys, no problem. Look at that damage. And I'm chasing this guy. No way he's getting out. The use of the Warp Stone, the use of Phantom Strike. This guy uses Ethereal Shift right here. I believe that's what it's called. And he's just dead. And I just get a free pick. I'm like, okay, we're cooking, man. Like, this should be easy wins. I'm getting free picks left and right and 1v3ing. That's the power of Warp Stone and Phantom Strike with your ult, by the way. But we have 2 free picks here. 2 free picks. I still have rejuve on me, which I wish I could use, but I think I end up not being able to use it. The Infernus is out of position. He's alone over here. Our teammates can just group up and get on him. I use my cube to immune his ult. Flash gets a nice ult off, but I don't know where he threw him. I thought he was going to throw right on top of us, but we should just fight this. I probably should... Okay, right there, I probably shouldn't have been so scared of the 7 ult. But I was, and I backed up. I'm kind of getting cooked here as bad plays by me, but I did get Soul Rebirth. So I res here right away, and they weren't aware of it. But honestly, guys, I wasn't aware of it either. I was not ready for this. I could have refreshed because I bought Refresher as well. This is something that I need to get better at. I could have single-handedly saved the game here. I also thought I still had my rejuve, but it ran out. So I have an 80-second respawn timer, so I'm cooked. I think maybe the rejuve procced on my Soul Rebirth. Is that what happened? I'm pretty sure it did. Because I think it takes like 6 seconds or 5 seconds for you to respawn. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it just ran out. But either way, I could have played that so much better. I'm so bad with Refresher. My game sense around Refresher is really bad. It's something I'm trying to get better at. But if I just realized I was respawning there, got my Refresher off, and cubed to save myself from the haze, and then ulted and Phantom Striked at her, I would have insta-killed her. I would have been alive. They would have had to have chased me out, and we wouldn't have lost the game. For some reason, my Yamato wanted to try and split push there instead of fight, and she tried to end the game, and she didn't and died. So that's unlucky. I think she grouped with us. I think that should have been the freest fight ever, to be honest. But this gameplay is ending. We ended up doing 80k damage. Could have done a lot more and played a lot better. So something to learn from. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two from this gameplay. That's it. Stay safe and healthy as always, guys. Peace out.